just goes deadly silent. Quiet. Dude, it was like you could hear the pin drop. What's up guys, it's Thomas McRocklin here. I hope you're doing great. Today I've got a fun story about my time with the manager Peter Grant. Yes, the legendary manager of Led Zeppelin, that Peter Grant. Peter was looking to get out of retirement, or come out of retirement rather, and I was one of the artists that he spent some time with, and it was almost a thing. Not many people know this. Peter had a certain, approach to management, shall we say. And although my time with Peter was anything but this, it was, however, a very interesting time, and there was certainly a lot of interesting situations that me and my dad and some others found ourselves in, as we will get into on today's video. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to thank everybody that's downloaded my app, Guitar Scale Finder, and everybody that's sent a message over on Discord or Instagram. The feedback has been absolutely incredible, totally overwhelming, and it's really great to see. If you haven't already checked out Guitar Scale Finder, I'll leave the link to it in the description below. There's over 200 scales and arpeggios in the app, and many of those use my specific fingering. It's fully customizable, so you can get exactly what you need from the app, including all note mode, which is great for jamming around the neck and just seeing at a glance where every single note is available. I'll leave a link to my Discord server down below too. I'm on Discord all the time, and we've got some wicked channels on my server, so I'll chat to you over there, I'm sure. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. Yeah, I'm headed up there right now. Alright, so I guess the first question is, how did I meet Peter Grant in the first place? How did that relationship come about? My introduction to Peter Grant came via Bob Daisley. Yeah, the one and only Bob Daisley, bass player for Ozzy Osbourne and so many others. Top guy, amazing bass player. And we actually made a really awesome demo together. We had a pretty wild lineup for this demo. It was Bob Daisley on bass, I was on guitar. We had Lee Kerslake from Uriah Heep and Ozzy and all these kind of legendary bands on drums. And on keyboards, we had the guy from UFO playing synths on this demo as well. Neil Carter, I believe his name is. That in itself was all pretty crazy. And we made this demo. We actually did some Ozzy covers and some original tracks. Save the Whale. I'll have to fish out the demo. I'm going to have to search this place high and low until we get this cassette. I just don't think you can put a price on that kind of experience. Totally invaluable. Anyway, so we did this demo, and Bob was my main contact from that kind of group of musicians. Obviously my dad was mostly involved, but I got to know Bob pretty well, and we had some real fun times, did a lot of crazy things. That's the story for another video. Shortly after we finished this demo, Bob Daisley got Peter Grant on the phone, and he's telling Peter about me and the things that I'm doing at that time. I was doing TV stuff and starting to get noticed, right? So Bob arranged to go over to Peter Grant's house. It's like a legendary mansion, this thing. I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures of it, and it looks pretty crazy. So Bob goes over there, tells Peter, about what's going on and all that stuff, and then shortly after that, Peter came to see me play at the guitar show. What is it? The British Guitar Show. Do you remember that? I'm playing at the British Guitar Show. Peter's there. He's watching me play. And then he asked to, take me and my dad to lunch to have a chat. Yeah, great, why not? This is bloody Peter Grant taking us out to lunch to talk about things, to maybe get involved somehow. The thing I remember most about this lunch, though, is I'm sat next to my dad and Peter's just right there, talking to my dad. And Peter's got like the salt, the salt shaker. And he's just like pouring it all over his food. And I'm just like, I'm looking at his plate and it looks like it's snowing. There's so much salt all over this food, and I'm thinking like, he's frozen or something. He's just in his zone talking to my dad, and then he wasn't frozen. He was just getting started. He put the salt down and he just chowed his way through the saltiest looking meal that I've ever seen. It was literally just white, that much salt. Well, he's not here today, so it was an awful lot of salt, an unhealthy amount. There was a lot of salt, okay? There was a lot of salt. Like, needless to say, there was a lot of salt. There was a lot of salt on that plate. I've never seen a plate so salty since, or a dish so salty since. So Peter arranged with my dad to come visit me to have a bit more of a chat. After all, it was a trade show, so it probably wasn't the best place to talk and discuss things. So Peter arranged to come up to my house in Newcastle, and I remember sitting in the living room, and my dad was there. Peter obviously was there, and shit's about to get real when your mum walks in with china cups that you've never seen before. Like, I've never seen those cups before in my life. Anyway, she comes in with the silver tray out. That also means things is getting real, walking into the living room with that silver tray. It was probably, fake silver, but she was trying to make an impression, right? All the biscuits on trays, who does that? Just put the biscuits on the packets. No, biscuits on tray. This is Peter Grant. Where are we going with this? Peter Grant then goes into his pitch, discussing what TV shows I should be doing, what radio shows I should be on, and what record labels I should be signing with, and all this stuff. And ultimately, this led to me going down London for an audition with Atlantic Records. Now, this would turn out to be one hell of a day. First of all, before my audition began, there was a vending machine in the corridor. All my favorite chocolate bars were just lined up, and I just had to have a few of them, get myself nice and perky and hyped up on sugar. On trips like this, we would often take my dad's friend along with us, a guy called Ken. And Ken just so happened to be a great guitar tech and knew exactly how I liked my gear set up as well. So it was a win-win. It was like extra company, and all my guitars were always on point as well. So I walk in, pick up my guitar, and immediately get into my set. It's around about 10 minutes long, some original songs, some shred, but I'm just hyped up, I'm just going for it. The energy is like, really, really high. I could feel like the guitar tone was just super juicy that day. We have good guitar tone days, right? That is a thing. And just everything was just firing on all cylinders. There was some lights sort of shining on the stage, so I couldn't really see everything that was going on, but I could see like the back wall. One of the guys sat on the sofa was none other than Armit Erkitin, the founder of Atlantic Records. Just my 10-minute set was over. There was a brief pause before the clapping and cheering and the chatter just began. And immediately everybody was up off the couches. There was, handshaking. My dad was shaking people's hands. Ken, the guy that came with us, was shaking people's hands. It just seemed like there was a massive buzz of energy and excitement in the room. And I remember getting down from the stage and everybody's still handshaking and chatting. The buzz is real, there's just an excitement in the air. But Peter Grant is still on this low-slung sofa. And I didn't really think too much of it. But Ken's like, he's getting involved, he's shaking everybody's hands, and, it's continuing. And then Peter Grant puts his hand up to Ken, and Ken goes right in, and he's going, yeah, great. Fucking hell, man. And Peter Grant, at this point, he's a big guy, and he slings his hand up to Ken, and Ken just like waltzes right in there, and he's like, yes, it was a great show, wasn't it, Peter? It was great solos today. But Peter's like, pick me up, you stupid cunt. And the room just goes deadly silent, quiet. Dude, it was like you could hear the pin drop. And then Ken has to struggle to get Peter like up from this low-slung sofa. He's up! And then everything continued. It was just like, oh my God. It was just for that one moment, you thought like Peter was just going to absolutely annihilate Ken. But he got up, and then everybody continued shaking hands and everything was fine. ultimately, in the end, we'd actually go a different direction with regards to management and record labels and stuff. I mean, to be fair, it's very unlikely that Peter would have been a significant part of managing my career at that time. Unfortunately, he had a lot of health issues, and it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway. So we went West Coast and we signed with Interscope Records and a management company based in Los Angeles as well. But certainly I've got so many fond memories of that brief time period that Peter was around me, saw me playing in my house, and we did stuff together. Man, just such great times. If you want to hear more music industry stories like this one, then let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you real soon. Maybe over on Discord. Alright, you guys take care. I'll see you soon. Take it easy.